Welcome back to the channel. In my previous video, I spoke about the totalitarian state of the world governing powers and what the word totalitarian really means. In today's talk, I want to focus on another important issue that I believe is being hidden from the general public, and it's to do with outer space. Is there a hidden truth behind the current space exploration initiative that two of our most foremost contractors are hiding from us? It has become a common sight to watch the rocket launches from the various sites chosen for different missions. There are 4 site complexes, all with the necessary launch facilities, and most launches can be seen on the SpaceX YouTube channel. Cape Canaveral is NASA's official launch site and was first used by the United States Air Force for the Titan projects before it was leased to SpaceX for the launch of Falcon 9 rocketry. SpaceX is the main contractor for the future launches to the Moon and then on to Mars. Rocket fuel has always been the limiting factor for the time duration of space flights, and it's not known by the majority observers that there is an anomaly the mainstream news media will never report on, that there exists 2 vastly different programs. One that NASA, SpaceX and other government-controlled space agencies allow the general public to see, and another program that is a much more advanced technology, a technology that is so advanced that anyone on the outside that becomes privy to it would think we have entered a Star Trek movie set. This space program is, however, kept secret. Instead, we get fed the story that the kerosene and liquid oxygen mix is the only form of propulsion available for the future exploration of space. The Falcon 9 rockets we see blasting off from the launch pads are now a common sight on the NASA SpaceX YouTube site. And those who do know much that more advanced propulsion technology is available can ask the $64 million question: why would any government settle for the current limited technology for all the upcoming space-based missions if a much more advanced technology exists? I'll get into the why, but first I must deal with the how, the where, and the who. How do we know this technology exists? Where did it come from? And to do this, I will need more than one video episode, so I'll provide as much within the allocated time for today's presentation, and will continue for as many presentations that will be required to complete it. So please stay tuned for the successive updates. I'm sure that my viewers will find that this most enlightening and interesting subject. Let's begin with how we know this technology exists, and let's be clear. We're talking about secret space programs that are deliberately being kept from the public eye. Yes, I know, this makes for a great conspiracy theory. However, do not be put off by this short-sighted point of view. We said the same thing about the rise of a one world order, but viewers who follow the latest news will know that what was once, in bygone days, a one world order conspiracy theory is today very much a fact. Do your homework. Back to the question of how we know these secret space programs exist. The first go-to is the amazing work that has been done by Dr. Michael Salla of the Exopolitics organization. Dr. Salla, an expert on the subject of off-world politics, has dedicated his career to exposing clandestine governmental cover-ups, and his bio is hugely impressive. I encourage all my viewers to access the Exopolitics website and read about its mission and accomplishments. Dr. Salla is the author of many books on the subject of secret space programs, the history of extraterrestrial involvement with planet Earth, and the path that humanity must take in order to join with the galactic fraternity and to take our place as a spacefaring species. Please purchase his books and listen to the podcasts as he interviews a host of insiders and weaves a golden thread through the tapestry of life in the universe. Yet another witness to the secret space program scenario is a group of remote viewers under the auspice of the Farsight Institute. I've covered this in one of my previous videos. These remote viewers have corroborated the intel brought by several of Dr. Sala's insiders, that is, the presence of the Ashtar Command in the clouds of Jupiter, plus the nature of the Intergalactic Confederation and its relationship with the Galactic Federation of Worlds. The sense of contention between these players and also their tension experienced by the commander of the Galactic Federation of Worlds command ship. Another television program presenter is the show Gaia, featuring George Noory and a host of interviews with insiders who have witnessed or had an involvement with extraterrestrial beings and the secret space programs. There's also the independent testimony of Bob Lazar, who claims to have worked on reverse-engineered sources at the S4 facility near Area 51. When researchers tried to authenticate his story, they came up against a wall of denial by the authorities, until his name was discovered in a telephone book and listed as an employee at the S4 facility. It would appear the cover-up of his presence came up short on this one small oversight. All Lazar's academics had been removed from the files of their respective education facilities. Every place where he had worked had been the subject of file removal. It was as though he never existed, until his name was found in that phone book to prove that his testimony was authentic. There have also been several suspicious deaths of whistleblowers who had come forward at great risk to their own lives. Men like James Forrestal, a close friend of JFK, original MJ-12 member, and the U.S. Secretary of Defense in the late 1940s. It is believed that after being sacked as Secretary of the Defense in 1949 by President Truman, Forrestal was sent for psychiatric evaluation and then committed to the Naval Hospital in Bethesda, Maryland, where he mysteriously fell to his death from the hospital's 16th-story window. It is believed by many researchers that Forrestal had not suffered a mental breakdown and did not commit suicide, but was forced to jump to his death in order to silence his testimony on the true nature of the extraterrestrial question. Phil Schneider, an engineer working on a project at a Dulce, New Mexico secret underground base in the 1970s, accidentally discovered a cavern that housed alien reptilians. He escaped with minor injuries and spent his later years in the 1990s traveling, sharing his testimony with researchers. In 1996, Schneider was found dead in his apartment, strangled with a strand of thin wire. This episode concludes how we have gained knowledge about the secret space programs and their cover-up by the deep state governmental authorities. Should viewers have an interest in the subject we are dealing with, I would recommend the purchasing of Dr. Sala's books. I've shared only a glimpse of what is a treasure trove of information about this very unique subject. Well, that's all we have time for in today's presentation, but before we close, please remember to hit the thumbs up and subscribe buttons below, and thank you for watching my channel. Be sure to catch up with the latest material on the next viewing of Spiritually Conscious Soul 101.